But the best question I heard about this week,
Okay.
it has to do with when you're talking to someone, and it doesn't really matter the nature of your relationships, but when you're talking to someone, you might want to figure out what they are dealing with and what they're involved with and the nature of that. And the best question I heard to investigate that is, what's the nature of your entanglements?
Yeah, that's a great question.
And I think that I don't necessarily want to talk about that question,
Okay.
but I want to talk about why it's necessary to ask it.
Give me an example of when someone would ask that.
When someone or when I would ask that, because that's
Okay, you want to make it specifically?
yeah. We have to.
When you would ask it, when would you ask it?
I would ask that of someone who I was dealing with that I felt the answer to that question could potentially affect how I interact with them.
Okay. It's very vague, but okay.
I'm trying so hard to give the right political answers.
You wanted to make it
here.
about you, brother. I gave you the out to do a hypothetical.
So yeah, I would use that in a situation where I need to know if what they're dealing with is going to impact or change how I interact with them.
Would you ask that on a job interview?
No, because I know the nature of those entanglements. And see, and that's the thing. I wouldn't ask that on a job interview because I am the one marketing my services.
Right.
In a situation.
So they should be asking you that.
Exactly. I should be getting asked this question. I think that was the main thing that I wanted to bring this up for is, how would you answer that question?
Me?
Yes, you.
I don't know what circumstances I'm being asked that question if we're talking about a job interview.
Let's just say we're doing a meet and greet for the Self-Medicated podcast at pick your favorite restaurant. We're doing a meet and greet. Some folks who listen to the podcast are curious and just inquisitive.
Yeah.
And they ask both of us, what's the nature of your entanglements? How do you answer that?
Very easy. I would say school and work are the natures of my entanglements. They take up most of my day.
Okay.
How are you answering that?
I'm answering by defined entanglement. And then I'm responding to
Based
that
on
answer by asking them what's the nature of their entanglements, because the definition that they give, because the definition that they give and then the explanation of their existence and how they're operating may be two different things. And based on those two is going to determine what level of veracity I'm going to give you. Because you might not be able to handle the actual nature of my entanglement, if that makes sense. So like, I don't want to, and I don't want the nature of my entanglements to affect how you view me as a person. I think that's important too, because I feel like a lot of times when questions like that, or even when the conversation gets to that point where questions like that are relevant, the answer dictates how that other person is going to handle you or deal with you from then on. So like, I'm going to be very careful and intentional about what you asking. And I would only pull that out if I was like, because for me, I don't give a fuck. Anybody that I would answer, that I would ask that question, wouldn't actually be about that question. It would be about how you answer it. I don't give a fuck what your entanglements are.
Okay.
Honestly.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So there's that. Why do black people have such a hard time counting the versus rounds? That's what I want to know.